Hey everybody, I hope you're all good. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. But before all, we need the comms check. So if you can tell me, am I coming in clear? Is the sound okay? If so, we can rock and roll. That's cool. So, engineered to succeed, and Rachel Gregory, don't tread on me, just him. Thank you for that, people. And Rachel. It's all good. So good. It's getting out there. That's really smart. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the food shortages which have hit shops in all sorts of weird and wonderful places all over the UK recently. And it's one of those things. If you haven't been affected by it, it doesn't mean to say that it's the same everywhere else. That really needs to be understood because I had so many people in the past saying, "Oh, my local court was all right." Well, maybe yours was, but thousands weren't, and we can get into that. But before we do, if you guys are watching this on the replay, I would recommend that you skip to about 15 minutes, then watch from there because we've got important community stuff to talk about. So if you're in a community, great. If not, if you're new, skip to 15 minutes. It's pretty much as simple as that. So, new things that have happened. And yes, it's been busy at Funky HQ for sure. It really, really has. The first thing, let me see if I can, let me just cancel that. We need to make sure that's working right. Is so many people, right, over the years have said to me, "Are you on Patreon? When are you going to go on Patreon?" And I've finally done it. And it's weird because it's a whole new thing to learn. If you guys have got Patreon channels or pages, I don't even know what they're called, let us know in the chat or the comment section. We're just going to quickly show how it's turned out. So here it is. All works, all of the social media. So YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, they all work. The memberships, I've set it as £5 for a whole month. Crazy. Some channels I've seen they're asking £100 a month, and I think that's just crazy. But it's just me. I've also got some stickers which I've got made, and they are here with me right now. So they're available on the Patreon page, and it's available for public, so anyone could get those. There's a little glimpse of them there. We've done some posts about the recent outing that I've done with the camouflage and stuff in the woods, going into some details there, and a bit of downtime. So I've only just started this, and I'm going to be growing it big time. So that's the Patreon thing. So let me just close that. Also, I've been having reports. My partner tried as well, and it become made aware to me that my sign up page for the newsletter wasn't working. It's all been fixed now, and I can only apologize to everyone who's been trying to sign up to the newsletter. A new newsletter went out, was it yesterday, darling? It was. Time's been going crazy. Yesterday, I sent a new newsletter out. First time since October, since before all of the drama unfolded with the you know who. And it was a success. It got successfully sent to over 6,500 of you. So if you received that newsletter, let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. And if you haven't signed up to the newsletter, there is a link below the video. You can click onto that. It takes you straight through, and you click sign up. You just put your email address and the name. It doesn't even have to be your real name. Call yourself Joe Blogs or whatever you want, and you get signed up to that. And what I'm going to do is probably Tuesday, I'm going to be sending out another newsletter. So this is basically giving people time between now, Friday, till Tuesday, to watch this video, to sign up to the newsletter, and on Tuesday, I'll be sending out a brand new newsletter updating everyone what's been going on, and some things that I don't really do on YouTube. It's all going to be in the newsletter. It went out really clean, no problems, and it was all good in the hood. Another thing which people have been asking me, especially our friends in America as well, if I can find it, right, it's the Amazon page which I set up. So yes, there is an Amazon official page from myself. And what I've done, I've decided to categorize things. Okay. So anything to do with water and safety, there's 9 items in there. Communications, there's 2 items in there. Camouflage, there's 8. You can see hygiene, 5. Navigation, 8 items. Shelter kit, there's 6 in there. Food preparation, cooking, clothing, wood prep. And I'm building it as we go. Okay, so every time I do a video, I'm just updating it with as many things as possible that I actually use, which I can recommend. So that is up now. The link to the Amazon page is underneath this video. So if you click on show more or more, you will see it. The Amazon page is on there as of right now, and it's going to be on there all the time as we move forward. And also I successfully completed Linktree. I thought you had to pay a fortune for it, but it turns out there's a free version, and that's worked out really good. The service on Linktree to set up is really, really straightforward and easy. So if any of you guys out there create content, whatever platform, Linktree is awesome because you can literally go on there and it's got all of the links to all of your different sites, so people can explore whatever platform that they're interested in. So the platforms that I'm linked in with would be Instagram. So if you guys are on Instagram, here is my official Instagram page. We've just gone over 4,000 followers, so that's cool. Bearing in mind, some of you guys will remember I had an Instagram account and it had nearly 8,000 followers on there, which all went foobar. So there's loads of things on my Instagram page which isn't available on YouTube, but it is absolutely available on Instagram. And there's all sorts of behind the scenes snippets and all sorts of other goodies and useful tips, etc. So that is all on there, and it's all good in the hood. So that's Instagram. And also recently I've just updated my X. I just still call it Twitter. So that is all working, and there's links to that Twitter page. Here it is, the official page right now. We got nearly 3,000 followers so far. And this was another link and a mention about the overnight tactical video, which I done recently. And the last post I done was what happens with me and the counter-terrorism police, believe it or not. All of the links to all of this information is on the Twitter page. So that's all been updated. And it's been a day of technical things, should we say. And most of you know I'm a bit of a tech retard and I'm not really savvy on it, but I've been trying my best to sort of smash through it. So basically, to summarize, there is a Patreon page and we've got members on there right now. The newsletter link is working. So if you want to sign up to the newsletter, go for it. It's right underneath the video. And there is an Amazon page of all of the things that I use out in the field and at home, which I can recommend. That's all on there. And it's all running through the Linktree. So it's all working good. Also, news about the UK Summer Prepper Meet. The tickets are selling quite fast. And I hear there's not many left. So if you haven't booked to go to the Prepper Meet this year, there is a link below the video showing you the video about where it is, the dates and all the rest of it. It's from the 11th of July, which is a Friday, and it's for 3 nights, and it's in BRECON. Beautiful scenery, right in the heart of Wales, just up the road from where the SAS do their training. And we're going to be expecting up to 200 preppers from all over the UK, and some from Europe turned up as well. So that is on, like Donkey Kong, as it were. I've got a thank you to someone called Oliver, who sent me a very, very beautiful donation the other day. And Oliver, if you're watching, I can't thank you enough. You've literally saved my ass this month. It's been a crazy month, so that really helps. Excuse me. Also, the merch and the t-shirts, that's all up and running. There's a link to all merchandise. I've got hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, all of that sort of thing. That's all there right now. And thank you for the feedback from that overnight camp that I just done. If you haven't done that, click onto my main YouTube page and you'll see videos and you'll see it on there. The training, the SHTF bug out one, and it was really fun to do. I feel it's important to do videos like that, but the feedback is amazing. It's been outstanding, actually. So many people have been saying, we want you to do more videos like this, the ones that you used to. You know, we've stopped all of that stuff with the governmental politics crap. It's all done, it's all gone, and we're back to doing what we love best. So the feedback is really encouraging. So I'd like to thank all of you who left a positive comment on that video. It really helps, and it just pushes me on to do more because I love doing things like that. Okay, so upcoming videos for what I've got plans coming over the next 10 days or so is the foraging books. I've been spending more time studying those and learning a lot myself. So I'm going to be sharing with you some really cool books, which was written by James, who is a former paratrooper with years of experience. It's a very, very good set of books, and I will be doing a video on that. And when the weather turns, I'm going to be finally building my wood store. Okay, so recently I've decided to stop buying firewood and start getting my own. Now, it doesn't come cheap. You know, you need chainsaws, you need proper saws, you need log splitters, you need all of the places to store them and dry them and all the rest of it. And we're finally getting there. What we need to do now is to build a store to dry the firewood out as much as possible so we can use it for this winter coming. Now, that sort of segues in quite nicely to what we're going to be talking about this evening, food shortages. Now, we've got a few articles to show you how it's affected different people from around the UK in different areas. And one of the things which keeps cropping up is they're blaming the weather. And I'm not going to mention the C word. I'd done that last week, and the video got demonetized by saying it once. But I think we all know what we're talking about. The weather's different, okay, and they're blaming it on that as an official narrative. So we're going to go through some of the articles here. If I can find this one here, this one was quite interesting. I've highlighted some key points in this. Is from the Mail Online recently. Excuse me. Sardines, believe it or not. Now, personally, I've got a big store of tinned fish. They do last for donkey's years, and they're packed full of all of the things that your body needs, omega fatty acids, etc. So look at this. I've highlighted it. It comes after a cyber attack which targeted Marks and Spencer early this month, also caused stock shortages at the retailer. And this is very important. Someone said this isn't just a cyber attack, it's an M&S cyber attack, which I thought was kind of cool because they are a bit special, M&S, aren't they? And it just goes on to show tons and tons of pictures of empty shelves. It's just been crazy. And this is all down to a cyber attack. We spoke about this in detail on multiple videos in the past, and I can't see any signs of this stopping anytime soon. In fact, I can only feel that it's going to get more prevalent as we go through time. Because when you think about it, right, go back in time. I was born in the early 70s. So most of us are probably of the same sort of age group. You know, we remember when you used to walk into a shop, everything was cash. Okay, that was the big thing. Cash, you've got privacy. Okay, and it's easy, it's straightforward, and it works. It's been working for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. Okay, my concern for not just the preparedness community, but the UK community as a whole is the more we rely on technology, the more fragile the system becomes. Okay, so just imagine the amount of things that are used in most shops here in the UK or require electronics, electricity, computers, cameras, chip pin, all of the rest of it. Okay, it only takes one little thing to break that down and the whole thing stops. Now, hit me up in the live chat, and if you're watching on a replay, in the comment section, have you ever witnessed going into a shop and maybe the person in front of you, the person on the next till, you know, their card wouldn't work for whatever reason, and they've had to return their food? I've seen it. And I was at a shop, I think it was a Marks and Spencer's food hall, which I visit very rarely, probably once a year. And I was speaking to the young lad on the till, and I was saying to him, what was your experience when you guys had that cyber attack? And the stuff he was telling me was just insane. And it's hard to believe it actually happened. He was saying that people were spending up to an hour walking around the food hall, filling up their trolleys, only to get to the till and find out that they couldn't pay. The only way that they could complete the transaction was with cash. And how many people use cash? He said the majority of everyone who turned up over that Easter weekend, like 4 days, hardly anyone used cash. And what happened? They had to leave all of their trolleys full up with food, which they spent an hour putting it into the trolley, only to leave it there because they had no cash. And most of them never returned. So a lot of time wasted. And not only that, all of the staff in the shop had to put all of the goods back on the shelves after making sure they haven't been tampered with, because people are people and some are idiots and you just don't know what they're going to do. So that took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of wasted money, etc. And it just goes to show how one little thing could change so many things. So I've been talking for a long time now about the importance of using cash. Okay, use cash as much as you can in local businesses, because when you see big conglomerates like Tesco, Asda, Morrison, Sainsbury's, Aldi's, all the rest of them, okay, the more money that they take, the less money is going into the tills of local independent businesses. And these businesses are really, really struggling. In fact, we're going to go on to an article soon about the farmers. Okay. Most of you know I went on the farmers' protest here in Cardiff, in Wales, and the turnout was amazing despite the rain. But it is Wales. We're used to the rain. You know, our skin's waterproof, so it's fine. But nonetheless, it's going to be a big problem. And once again, guess what's being blamed for poor yields with the farmers? I'll give you one guess. So put it in the live chat and a comment what you think that guess actually is. So we're going to look at the co-op. Now, I was told by someone who follows me about a place in Wales, which I know by the coast. They didn't have any fresh food for a whole week. Yeah, and this community supplies about 10,000 residents, and it's the only main sort of miniature supermarket, as it will. So this sort of thing's been happening all over the UK. So let me know where you are and if you notice something similar, because it'd be really interesting to see just how widespread this actually went without just relying on little snippets from the mainstream source media. Okay. So looking at the co-op, when that picture says it all, I've actually seen this a few times. Let me know if you've seen something similar where you are too. So it goes into detail in saying the co-op says shelves will be more fully stocked this weekend. So we read on, and it says on there, co-op customers should see stocks on shelves start to return to more normal levels this weekend, the company said, after it announced it was switching its online ordering system for supplies back on after a cyber attack. So Marks and Spencer's, co-op, there's going to be more. It's just a matter of time. Now listen to this. The hack resulted in payment problems, just like Marks and Spencer's, widespread shortages of goods in shops, and compromised customer and staff data. So that's a concern, because these crooks now have data for thousands and thousands of customers. In fact, we're going to go into that. It's a lot more than thousands. The criminals using the cybercrime service Dragon Force also claim to be responsible for a similar attack on Marks and Spencer and an attempted hack of Harrods, yes, Harrods in London earlier this month. Earlier this month, cyber criminals infiltrated the co-op's IT networks, apparently trying to extort money from the grocery chain. Wow. So it goes on. It's quite an interesting read, actually. But we come down to this part. The cyber criminals claim to have the private information of 20 million people who signed up to co-op's membership scheme. But the firm would not confirm that number. Marks and Spencer's admitted on Tuesday that some customer data had been stolen in the hack of its systems. It's mental. There's lots of reports of these cyber attacks, and it's primarily targeting food distribution centres, i.e. shops where it's distributed from. It's a bit of a concern, but it's not it. Out of stock, supermarkets including Sainsbury's run out of a kitchen staple as shoppers spot huge shortages on shelves. Poor fishing conditions have resulted in shortages of tin sardines in supermarkets, allegedly. Sainsbury's as well. That's just insane. Dog food as well has been hit. Shortages. I'm not going to play the video in case of copyright breach, but it's ransomware. So basically, crooks would demand ransom from certain companies, and they are getting more and more clever, and they seem to be bypassing more and more systems now. It's not for the first time that supermarket shelves have been left empty due to a national shortage. Now, it's got it all the way down here. In fact, I'm going to highlight that so you guys could probably read it a bit easier. This month, Marks & Spencer's had to temporarily suspend several of its meal deals and sweets due to a prolonged cyber attack that continues to disrupt operations. Now in its third week, the ongoing cyber incident has led to major stock availability challenges, limiting the retailer's capacity to provide meal deal options in stores. Now, the meal deal options most people use. So you go in there, you know, you're on your feet and you need sandwiches, crisps, a drink, something like that. It's just been empty for 3 weeks. So that's going to hit them hard, because when people go in to buy things like that, they often buy other things which Marks & Spencer's rely on. Okay. In March, Brits faced national banana shortage due to a storm disrupting the route of Congo ships to the UK, forcing Tesco and Marks & Spencer's to have empty shelves. A shortage of grapes also rocked shops in December. Dodgy harvest in Spain. It just goes on. Okay, it just goes on and on and on about these food shortages. Okay, so I really do think it's probably a good time to make sure that we've got pretty good food stocks wherever we feel we need to store them. Okay, where is this other one? Yeah, this one's crazy. Look at this. Shoppers face empty shelves and price hikes because of these two reasons: a change in the weather and supply chains threatening farmers' livelihoods. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, it's very small. Shoppers have been warned that they face risk of empty supermarket shelves and soaring prices if farmers continue to face an onslaught of extreme weather and new pests. I wonder who stands to make money out of these new pests. I'll let you decide that one. April was the sunniest on record and the third warmest, figures from the Met Office showed. It was also another dry month, with some areas in the Midlands and north of England seeing less than a fifth of the usual rainfall, and large parts of the south seeing less than half. Wow. This comes from the sunniest March on record with very low rainfall. Now, I know some of you people watching right now will grow your own food, and you know exactly how hard it is to grow stuff with lack of rainfall and water. This is from Mark Betson, water sources specialist at the National Farmers Union, said, this is in quote, "As the warm and sunny weather continues, the situation on the ground remains hugely variable across farming sectors. The dry conditions and lack of substantial rainfall has meant farmers in some parts of the country have started to irrigate crops much earlier than normal. Thankfully, reservoirs are currently full following a wet autumn and winter. But if it doesn't rain, the crops that rely on it will get more stress and have not good yields." So that is a bit of a concern as we look forward into the growing seasons of what the farmers are using here in the UK. It's not good news. And again, we've got more. This is the record talking again about more shortages in the shops. Hackers still in the system leave co-op shelves running empty across the UK. So yes, it's more cyber attacks, more cyber attacks, more cyber attacks. There's just tons of intel about it now. So I think we know what we feel we need to know about the importance of what we can do to make sure that we're going to be okay. Okay. Do you want to be one of those guys or girls, or do you want to be one of those families to go to do your weekly shop at the supermarket only to find out the things that you were thinking of buying are all gone? There's none available. Going to pop into the chat real quick just to see what you guys are mentioning about this. Here we go. This is from A. Grennan. The co-op in Kilgetty was empty. Was sad to see, and some people look proper panicked. This is what I'm saying. You know, there's so many people out there who literally don't put food as a priority in their household. I don't know why. I just don't get it. Yeah, most of you guys are on the page about what's going on. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's going on out there. So I think what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're going to be okay ourselves. Now, what I've been talking about for a long time now, and I don't really feel it needs to be updated. I just refer to it as food staples. Okay. So what do I mean by food staples? Food which you can buy anywhere in the UK, which is going to last for a long time. This is multi benefits. Okay. This is going to prevent you becoming a victim if you need to go to a shop and find out that particular item just isn't there. It might not be there for weeks. So you're going to have to make changes. But if you've already got it before, you're going to be okay. I'm not joking. There's people out there who have 3 days worth of food in their house or their flat or bungalow or whatever it is. And there could be multiple reasons why. Personally, I put food as a priority. Okay. Without food, you're not going to be doing much. And I just think it's a no-brainer to make sure that you've got food already on hand. So staples, like I said earlier, rice. Okay. White rice is better than brown rice. Brown rice takes longer to cook. Brown rice doesn't do any good for your stomach. So white rice, I prefer to use basmati. Basmati is good because it's thinner and it takes less time to cook and uses less water. Okay, if you use the absorption method, which I do. So just say if you've got like a 7-inch cooking pot and you put about half an inch of rice in there, all you do is you put another half an inch of boiling water on top of it, and then you boil it. Once it's boiling, you put the lid on, you simmer it, saving energy. You've only got to cook it for 7 minutes, take it off the heat with the lid still on, turn your cooker off or whatever it is, and leave it for 10 minutes. That's the most efficient, quick, easiest way that I've found to cook rice, saving you energy and water and still get maximum nutritional benefits from it. So if you haven't already done so, get basmati rice in bulk bags if you can, or do the maths. It might work out cheaper if you was to buy lots of small packets compared to a great big 20-kilo sack. You just have to do the maths based on where you are, shop around. And if you haven't already done so, if you've never been, find one of these quite big Asian supermarkets. Usually you can get really good prices in places like that, rather than just relying on Sainsbury's or whatever it is that you're going to use. Okay, it pays to shop around. To me, it's common sense, but there's so many people out there that just do not get it, and they're going to blame all sorts of other things because they just don't. Okay, so rice. absolutely make sure you've got a good stock of rice. The good thing about rice, it pretty much stores indefinitely, but the things that you are going to need to be made aware of is you have to keep it away from damp, strong odors, sunlight, and heat. Okay. If you're storing food in any of those environments, it's not good. Okay. It needs to be out of sunlight. A good thing is put it in a cupboard. No sunlight gets in there, it's pitch black. That's ideal. And make sure it's cool. So if you've got a cupboard by an exterior wall in your house, it's going to be cooler there. Preferably, it's going to be in a room which hasn't got any heating. So a kitchen is a good place. I don't know why people feel they need to have a radiator on in the kitchen. Okay. Kitchen is an area where food is prepared and cooked. And kitchens won't fare well if that room is hot. Okay. Lots of things will go off very quick. It's not good to store food and it's not right. So always store your food in a cool, dark, dry place away from odors and damp. If you follow these rules, not just for staples, it works very good for tinned goods as well. Okay. So we're talking rice and also pasta. Okay. Pasta. Now, you've literally got to shop around again and do the math. Okay. Do the maths on it. Personally, I prefer to get spaghetti because it's thin. It takes less time to cook rather than those great big fancy shapes. Okay. And you can store it and stack it a lot easier rather than bags of irregular shapes. Because when you start piling bags of irregular shaped pasta on top of each other, at some point you're going to have a split bag. And if something moist or damp gets into that bag, it's going to ruin your pasta. So personally, I just use spaghetti. You can stack them up. It's not going to puncture the bags and all the rest of it. I personally vacuum seal mine with the original packaging of the spaghetti inside the sealing bag. It just gives it extra protection to make sure it doesn't puncture and to let in stuff to make your pasta spoil. So rice and pasta, absolutely. Any dried foods, okay? So we're talking legumes is the best. Okay, so pulses, lentils, split peas, all of that sort of stuff, beans. It's fantastic. It will last for donkey's years. But again, you need to keep it in a cool, dry place. I know some of you have heard this before, but let me tell you this. I've been monitoring the prepper or the preparedness community, and there's so many new people joining every single day. Okay, so if we can help the new guys and girls to our preparedness community, all the better. Because if more people thought like this, the more people would be self-sufficient, the more people wouldn't have to rely on anyone else. And that would be a movement which, once it reaches a certain point, would be unstoppable and they'll be hard to control. Okay. The only way that people are controllable is if they have to rely on someone or something else. If you're becoming self-sufficient, you are in control, which is where we all should be. Okay. So tinned foods, very, very important. I would say it's a good idea to get a varied mix, but only get the foods that you like and your family like. There is no point going to buy tin things just because it was on offer and it was cheaper and you've got no idea what it tastes like. It's not going to be good. You could be sitting around a dinner table one day and you can open up one of these tins of whatever and no one likes it. It's just a waste. Okay. So only get the stuff that you like. And if you're new to tin food, not many people buy tin food, mainly baked beans, and that's probably about it. Okay. Or chopped tomatoes or whatever it is. But on the whole, not many people buy tins curry, bacon grill, spam, custard, or whatever it is. Not many people do it. So it might be new to you. So my advice would be have a look around the supermarket shelves or other shop shelves and just have a look and see which ones that you want to try and just buy one. Just buy one of that particular thing and try it. If you don't like it, you know not to get it. You don't want to make the mistake of going to buy 10 or 20 tins or something you've never eaten, and a year later you try one and it's disgusting. What are you going to do? You're going to have to give it away to a homeless shelter or try and swap it with someone. Good luck trying to swap certain things like that. So it always pays to use common sense and just try before you buy. It sounds a bit of a cliche, but it's true. All right. Things in jars. Things in jars are pretty good. If you was to get something like coffee, Freeze-dried coffee, in theory, should last 20, 30 years, in theory. Okay, you could probably make it last better if you was to vacuum seal it to get all of the air out, and something like an oxygen absorber, okay, to stop any sort of damp penetrating through and growing spores and then ruining your food. Okay, freeze-dried coffee would be a good option. I was told by a friend of mine, if you love high caffeine, you want to get 100% Arabica bean processed freeze-dried coffee. But again, it's all down to personal choice. All you need to do is just go try one jar at a time, and whatever one that you like, that would be the one to start. I don't like to use the word stockpile, but the one to keep back in your household. That's a more politically safe way to say things. The benefits that I have personally of having a dedicated room, which is practically climate controlled. It's always cool, it's always dark. Okay, it's off of the floor, it's away from the walls, and the reassurance of just going in there and getting something and cooking whatever meal that you want to is so refreshing. Okay, it's almost like having your own shop in your own house. In fact, that's what it is, but it's all free because you've already paid for it. It's a very, very good feeling, and I know some of you have something similar. Many people probably won't. So if you are new to this sort of way of thinking, have a think of what room in the house would be best used to store food. And let me tell you this, if you think you're going to use a small area under the stairs, usually that's where it starts, but it will not stop there. You will end up putting it under the bed, under the sofa, in all sorts of cupboards, in the shed, in the loft. Don't do it. Please don't do it. If you're going to be storing food in a shed, like a wooden structure, it's going to get very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter, and it's going to ruin all of your food. The same as the loft, okay? If you can probably put like a temperature sensor, something like this, in your loft, and you check it throughout the summer and the winter, maybe on a weekly basis, and the temperature is quite stable, it may be a good idea to store some food up there. But just be mindful of the weight and the load-bearing properties of your structure in your house. Okay, you don't want to put too much weight in there and have the ceiling come through. But if it's going to be a regular temperature environmental tolerances, you know, don't put it up there because it will spoil. Okay, you need to make sure that it's going to be cool, dark, dry, away from odors and smells. Wherever it is in the house, that's where you are going to need to store your food. Because when we see these increasing issues in the UK, cyber attacks, it's only going to get worse. There's no way that all of a sudden all of the cyber attacks are going to stop. They are just going to get worse. Why? Because it costs a lot of money for IT infrastructure to be embedded in a stringent way across food supply chains all over the UK. It's going to get more expensive to do that. Unfortunately, the cost is going to be passed on to us, the customer. And when I see news articles about cyber attacks, basically it's hacking. That's all it is. It's just a modern posh word of someone hacking. And all that means is gaining access to something else without their consent, i.e. being shady. Okay. It's like cops and robbers. Okay. The cops would find a way to stop something. The robbers would figure a way around it. Boom. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. That's cyber attacks. So when you consider the majority of our food, which we buy in the UK, is going to be held in some building which has surveillance, cameras, facial recognition. We've talked about this before. Okay. And it all basically relies on being online. So if you could hack into a Tesco store and you could turn off their Wi-Fi or their internet, you literally seize control of that building. There's nothing they will be able to do, because from what I understand, probably not all of it, but a lot of it will be online, possibly intranet. Okay, so if that gets compromised, the tills won't work. Okay, all of the temperature controlled cabinets and stuff is probably online. All of those will shut down. It just goes to show how vulnerable our food stocks are. So I believe how I do things is I get food, extra food, as and when I can afford it, when I need to get it, to make sure that my stock levels are pretty healthy. Okay. You don't have to go crazy and stockpile thousands of things. You just need to cover your own needs. Everyone's different. All I do is I just spend an extra £5 or £10 a week on a few things and I just put them away. Okay. I'm never going to be one of these guys to go into a supermarket and fill up a whole trolley full up with beans and sausages or whatever. Okay. You're just going to draw attention. You're going to exasperate stocks. The sensible thing to do is to do things every now and again when you can afford it. Don't live beyond your means. Only do it when you can afford it. And just keep an eye out for deals and offers. I remember the days when you can get coupons and vouchers. They seem to be practically gone now. So when you see items reduced, don't be automatically fooled. Shop around in other places and see if you can get the same product for cheaper. If you can, get it from that place. You know, it's worth investing that little bit of extra time, making sure that you save more money, which you can put towards other things, whether it's a new solar panel or whatever it is that you feel you'll need in your prepper supply store. To me, it just makes common sense. But, you know, like my partner Rachel would say, you won't believe how many people out there that just don't think that way. And I'm probably a bit naive to believe that everyone thinks how I do. To me, it's just common sense. So all I'm trying to do is to pass on hints, tips, and advice, making sure that our community not only strives, it thrives too. Okay. Because the more that we can control our own things in our own household, the more power that we gain. Because our powers are being stripped daily across the board in the UK. Okay. Privacy, wow. If you want privacy online, good luck. It's not easy. And it takes a lot of time, expertise, know-how, and an awful lot of money too. Okay. So privacy, security, and I would say self-sufficiency. Those three things should be staples, in my opinion, in our preparedness community. So based upon all of these food shortages that we've seen across the UK recently, and it's going to continue, it's happened a few years ago, there's so many things that are affecting our food supply chain. Like I said in a recent video, okay, we import most of our food. So what happens? I mean, it's already happened where it gets sardines from. They've had a drought or something, and all of a sudden there's a distinct lack of sardines. How many sardines have you got in your kit? I prefer mackerel myself, but it's just personal taste. I've got plenty for what I need for quite a long time. So that doesn't affect or bother me. But someone who buys them every now and again and they need some and they haven't got any, they didn't have any stock, or they might have had a stock and they've let it go down too low where it's at dangerously low levels. It's just about being prepared, making sure that you and your family are going to be okay when others are running around chasing their tails, stressed out because they can't feed the family from what they're used to eating. We don't want to be a victim. We want to use common sense and we want to make sure that we're all okay. Carl McPhee, good to see you, mate. We got some cool people in the chat. So, like I said earlier, if you've just joined, and I know there's nearly 600 people here right now, I have now got a Patreon account, and that is under the video. The newsletter is all up and running. I sent one the other day. There will be one going out Tuesday. So if you haven't signed up to the newsletter, you can use the link right now. It's underneath this video, and I'll be hitting more information out there as I possibly can. Currently, I've got just under 7,000 people on the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up to that, you're missing out. There's going to be all sorts of valuable preparedness information in that newsletter. So sign up for it today or whenever you can. Do it before Tuesday if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait another week. I will be trying to do newsletters once a week. Now, all of these IT systems are being put in place and we're all online. Everything's good. I've also updated the Amazon page. So if you looked on there some time ago, there's loads of new things on the Amazon page. Lots of them are discounted too. Okay. So if you want to check out the Amazon page, go for it. That's under the video. And I've used Linktree. Okay, Linktree just puts you to all of the social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on YouTube. Okay, I will never do Facebook, so please don't ask. I never will, never. The UK summer prepper meet is doing very, very well. The tickets are selling quite a lot and there's not many left. So if you do want to go to the prepper meet, there is a link to the video showing you what to do. It's the 11th of July. So not far, that's 6 weeks away. How scary is that? 6 weeks time, there's going to be around 200 of us in this beautiful, great big field by a river, all sharing hints, tips and ideas, all about preparedness. Lots of people bring kit and equipment to sell very cheap. Some people give it away for free and some people like to swap things. It's a really cool community. It's practically like a car boot sale, but all prepper related. It's really, really cool. I've been doing it since 2013 and it's the only original one that's still going. Many have tried, many have failed. The original UK prepper meet is still going and it's in 6 weeks. So if you want to go to BRECON in mid Wales, give yourself a nice long weekend break from it all. It's not too late to get tickets, but you are running out of time. Okay. Also, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, merch is all available. There's a link below right there if you want to help support the channel and wear something cool. These are all organic cotton. It's not cheap rubbish. It's very good quality stuff. Okay. And don't forget the upcoming videos about the foraging books, which I've been deep diving into recently. They're very good books. And I can't wait to share with you how good these books are. And I'll be showing you some foraging stuff in that video. That's coming soon. And also my DIY wood store. Okay. How to dry firewood properly, how to store it. Don't end up doing what I've done before, is buying expensive wet firewood, which is around 40% moisture content. Don't do it. I'll show you plenty of tips, hints and tricks, if that makes sense, to do it yourself. So you guys take care. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching and stay funky.